Freshies are on at the factory, the Russell Club, tonight. And they say if you arrive before 10 o'clock, it'll cost you 26.5p. After 10, it's 53.5p. Very silly prices. Anyway, that's the Freshies on at the factory tonight.
Well, tonight at the Bowden Vale Hall in Cheshire, there's a special disco for under 18s, which makes a change because there's not an awful lot going on for them. It's a disco with the inevitable Freshies, who sent me an enormous long letter and all the rest of it, but the gist of it was that there's this disco tonight. Tickets 50p.
Right, goodbye.
Right.
See you tomorrow at about the same time for another one.
Yeah, it's not trendy at all.
Pottery lessons.
I've always done it.
Oh dear.
How embarrassing.
You're a million miles away across the sea. I'll always be your girl.
I see the Freshies are spreading themselves amongst you as evenly as possible. They're at the factory tonight, and if you fancy going down and seeing them, I would imagine things kick off around about 8ish. But you'll have to let me know about the factory, because I don't know what the times are down there. Anyway, the Freshies at the factory tonight. If you're a Freshies fan, or even a Freshies fan, you know where you should be this evening.
shoved in the wall like me. They've all got wives and kids way back in Germany, and I couldn't live with myself if I took their men away. So sail away, little submarine. Who knows, this could be the start of the war. Justification, I never will be taking lives again. Must be this girl of mine making me feel this way. She made me new, so new. She's got me thinking of the cherries on the U-boat. They've all shoved in the war like me. They've all got wives and kids way back in Germany, and I couldn't live with myself if I took their men away. So sail away, little submarine. Who knows, this could be the start. This could be the stop of the war.
Come back on it, because it'll be loud.
I got a message from a girl from Toronto in Spain. She's gonna got herself a job working on a women's trains. She's gonna let me for good without giving away, but I don't.
Come on. Come back on it, because it'll be loud.
I got a message from a girl from Toronto in Spain. She's gonna got herself a job working on a women's trains. She's gonna let me for good without giving away, but I don't care, 'cause I can do the Moonmidsummer jump up on the bed past the center ray. I got a message from a girl from Toronto in Spain. She's gonna got herself a job working on a women's trains. She's gonna let me for good without giving away, but I don't
let's finally forget Eric and remember Chris. Chris keeps writing to us. He has a band called the Freshies, and you'd save us a lot of trouble if you go and see him and his band at Pips Disco tomorrow night in Manchester. You'd cheer a lot and make him a big success. You'd get him off our backs, and we'd be really grateful. Why are there no aspirins, by the way, in the jungle? The answer to that question is paracetamol. That's about the end of the show. It has to be on that note. Can we say dada, ta-ta? This is Chris Sievey and Freshies, their new single, playing us out. Good night.
Sure, I can't go further to the such you make to me. If only you could see me, Eleanor. Sure, I'm free. I'm part of Madame Elephant, close to Korea. And is it so doing shame? If you are consenting, we gotta let the people know the things we're going through. There is no need to be Alsatians. Can't you see someone like me? On tomato, fellas, fan. I mean, Baiser. Taste of a boy, Baiser. Taste of a girl, but it's enough for me. Baiser on this only guy.
Chris Sievey, the Freshies, is our special guest tonight. Yes, indeed.
Excellent. Look forward to speaking to Chris right after this.
Late.
Dilly, Stereo 97.
11:14 on a Tuesday night as we go into Wednesday morning. Chris, hi, welcome to the programme. How are you?
Hello. All right, sir.
You're looking well. You're looking extremely... You're looking at... What is the word for him, Brian? I can't... The word sort of loses. What is it? He's looking good.
Loses?
Well, he's looking trendy.
With it?
With it, yes, that was the word I was looking for. He's looking like a pop star should look. He looks good.
Well, Chris Sievey of the Freshies. I don't know whether Chris would at this moment in time describe yourself as a pop star, would you?
No, I wouldn't think so, not yet.
Why?
No one really knows about me yet.
Well, actually, you say nobody knows,
I
but
disagree.
The Freshies have a sort of a very special place on Piccadilly because we always play your records first, and you're very well known in this area. Are you saying that really your interest at the moment is rather parochial and you're only known in the Greater Manchester area?
Yeah, outside Manchester we're not really known.
And so how do you actually break out of the Greater Manchester area and get known? Last night we had Jim Dooley in, and he was saying that there's a gradual process and you work hard and you package yourself and you promote yourself, and then not so much suddenly, but you know, it happens, and then you know that you've made it.
Yeah, well, the same thing that, like, I've been working on Piccadilly now for about 3 or 4 years, and at last I started playing my records.
So when you say working on it, Chris, you mean?
Yeah, well, it just takes time. You do have to work at it.
Yeah.
You know, constantly sending records and writing to the DJs, asking them to listen to it. And I've started doing the same thing now with all 19 IBA stations around the country.
Actually, what I was going to say, that I'm sorry to keep harping back to Jim Dooley, but Jim Dooley, the Dooleys actually came from the south and moved north. They thought that was where they were going to find their pot of gold, and they did. Have you ever actually considered going the other way?
No, I've not considered it really. I don't think it's necessary. The idea that the capital, London, is you've got to go to London, I think that's gone now. Maybe in the 60s you did.
Yes, everybody wanted to go to London and find their fame and fortune.
Well, that's how it used to work then. I don't think it works like that now. I mean, lots of bands have proved it, like 10cc. You know, the Buzzcocks did it without really moving out of Manchester.
Now, is the reason why it can be done from within Manchester because we have better recording facilities? And this is particularly relevant to the Freshies because, I mean, to start off with, you were doing all your own producing and packaging of the records, weren't you?
Yeah.
I mean, where do you actually get a record together? Or where did you in the beginning, and has it progressed to somewhere a little more sophisticated?
Yeah, the first ones we actually recorded in my bedroom.
Really? That was good fun in a mixed band.
The second one was done in the kitchen.
Really? So you sort of moved around the house?
Yeah.
Did you ever actually make it to the toilet?
No, we did the front room and the garage.
Yeah.
Before actually going into the basement.
Yeah. Really?
I mean, everybody starts like that because, I mean, Joe Meek with his early recordings of people like the Tornadoes, all was sort of all back bedroom type stuff. Yeah. And look what happened to that, #1 record. Yeah,
well, I mean, it can be done, you know. If you've got fairly good gear to record onto, you can record it anywhere, really.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, what we did is, the first one we just pressed 500, and when we sold those, the money that we made off that we put into the next one, which means we could spend a bit more on it. And we pressed 1,000 of those, and the next one 2,000. So it's just gone like that.
Yeah.
And the more money we've made means we've been able to work our way up to 24-track studio.
Of your own, or you're actually recording at a 24-track studio?
Yeah, we're actually recording it. Well, we've done it at different ones. We've always used a different studio.
So you would say now that as time's gone on, because you've self-financed your music by making various pressings and selling them, you've now got to a stage where the music content and the production and presentation of it is really acceptable, because before there was always the doubt level at the Freshies that it was great being self-producing your own records, but
the quality
suffered.
Well, the first 3, definitely, but from then onwards it started to get a little bit better, till now it has reached where people say, you know, it's a record, it's a real record.
Sorry, I was just going to say, are you actually getting to the stage where are you getting depressed? You know, you've had you've had a lot of rejections. I mean, you've brought a book in with you about rejections, etc. I mean, do you get very depressed about it? Have you ever thought, right, I'm going to pack it all up, you know?
No, it doesn't bother me anymore. I mean, I had all that years ago. I used to go around the record companies before we started sticking them out, and I had all the heartaches then of being turned down and nearly getting a contract and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So no, it doesn't really bother me.
For what reason do you think you've sort of not, you know, you're at that sort of stage, that nearly there stage. For what reason do you think you've just not gone over the top? I mean, can you actually sort of...
Well, I don't think I've reached... I think I will go over the top, I'm sure.
Well, that's
I'm
nice.
just not quite up to there, you know. I'm just going up to that now.
So you think that it's only a matter of weeks, months, when actually Chris Sievey and the Freshies will be...
Yeah, well, actually, we've been offered deals now. And funny enough, we're turning them down.
So you've been offered record deals that you're now refusing?
Yeah, we've been offered 3 in the last couple of months.
Yeah.
It's waiting for the right one. I mean, we've waited this long, so it's not worth just jumping in and doing anything. Might as well wait till we get one where we've got the control the same as we've got now.
So when you were doing your very first records, I take it there was a record that you did by yourself, was there?
Yes, which was released not on our label, but by Rabid Records.
And what was that?
It was called Last.
Last. I think we have it on the turntable.
We do. Record 11:23. That's called Last. We'll be back with Chris Inamo and Brian, of course. Meanwhile, back in Manchester, back with Brian and Chris.
Yes, indeed, back with Brian and Chris. And we were talking before about the heartbreak of trekking round from various record companies to record companies and stations to stations. And some people might have just dispensed with that and forgotten all about it, but not so Chris, because it's here for all to see.
Yes.
And a little very interesting book that's the Raz collection of rejection slips. How many will there be in total? Is this just volume one of a much...
Yeah, that was just what I could lay my hands on. I've got hundreds at home.
Oh, that's only volume one?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Well, you see, for example, there's one from Virgin Records, and no doubt you sent the tape to Virgin. It says, "Dear Chris, sorry. Need I say more? Has the postage from all these tapes bankrupted you, so you've had to move from your palatial mansion, or what? Are you compiling a book of Virgin rejection slips?" Actually, the lady who wrote that didn't know how close she was to the truth, did she? That's just one of
We
many.
actually did do a separate one called the Virgin Book of Rejection Slips.
Oh, I see. The Virgins were... well, you see, there's one from Factory Records, which at the top of it says, "Temporary rejection slip." Underlined, it says, "Dear Chris, your real rejection slip is in the post." Which must have been... Actually, I even think there's one from Piccadilly somewhere, isn't there?
Oh, yes. Dare we show it?
Well, I remember when Tim Grundy did an interview with Chris, and to thank him, Chris wrote back on a letter on the back of a Piccadilly piece of... It says, "Dear Chris, thank you for your tape, which we have listened to with interest. However, I am sorry to say that we cannot offer you any work on Night Beat at the present time. Thank you for your interest." Well, you see, Piccadilly has now reneged on that, and we do have you on, and we are playing your music and talking to you. So you were saying that you're just a fraction of a way from greatness, or not so much greatness, of acceptance. Now, if all these record companies are offering you the contracts, how are you going to decide which one to take?
I think it will depend, first of all, on the money, because obviously, I mean, if you're being serious about it, you do need money to put a band on the road. And also another area which I'm greatly interested in is video. And there's a few companies now which are sort of leading in video, sort of taking the first steps, because everyone's sitting back really to see what happens before taking the steps. But there's a few that are going at it now, and I'd like to get involved with one of those right at the start, you know.
So when you're talking about video, I can't really envisage this, Dave. Is this the sort of promotion of a record now? Isn't so much groups trekking round and playing it, sort of doing one set on a video, and you send along the video for the television companies or wherever you're going to promote a record, and it's there in this little enclosed capsule, and you just plug that in and play it.
I also mean a video as for sale, like a record, you know, where a customer can go and buy a video.
Yeah, lots of clubs are actually picking up on this now. A certain club that we go to at Piccadilly Radio do have massive screens that drop on either side of the dance floor, and I think they use a lot of videos from things like Top of the Pops and things like that, but they could actually use one of your videos on something like that.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's the promotional side of it. All record companies make promotional videos.
Yeah.
But I mean actual videos which, you know, even films, you know, which might not take music in. I'm interested in just making films, you know, straightforward stories and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, you never cease to amaze me, actually, Chris, because since the first time I met Chris tonight, I met him around about 10 o'clock, and the ideas you have, and the things that you've done. I said to Chris, I said, are you sort of into a bank or something? Because, you know, I mean, you took all these things like your records, I mean, you're sort of doing it all yourself. I mean, you must be getting a lot of work anyway to be able to sort of do this, yeah?
Not really, I'm broke.
Well, do you ever do gigs? I mean, do you ever go touring?
We do. They usually cost money to put on, more than make anything out of them.
So how does one finance oneself then?
Well, we all have to put our money that we earn into the records and
Could
stuff.
I just ask you, could you just actually talk more into the mic?
Oh, sorry.
It's all right, because we're about 5 foot away then.
Oh, right.
We weren't even getting you. That's better, that's it. Sorry, you were saying?
Yeah, you don't really make money off gigs and things like that. There's not really that many gigs around Manchester to play, but the ones that do come up, if it's a big one, you usually have to pay to get on it, you know, a support
Really?
one, something like that, yeah.
You don't have it easy, do you?
And the small ones, they're not really making enough anyway to pay. You know, they probably just cover the cost of your PA and everything.
Have you got a day job?
Sort of, yeah. Well, I used to work for Rabid Records, which now ceased to exist.
Well, you were put down, yeah.
So, my money I used to earn from that, I used to put into myself to promote myself.
So at the moment, no?
Well, it's like the new single, No Money. That's what it is. That's the situation.
OK, well, we'll be back with the ups and downs of Chris Sievey right after we've heard from the Detroit Spinners. But two, I lost my little piece of paper. Salford, strangely enough, and Janet Burton. Hi, Janet.
Hi.
How are you?
Okay, thanks.
Goodness,
How are you?
Oh, I'm very well. You sound a happy little lady. How old are you, Janet?
16.
Sweet 16 and never been kissed, eh? Oh, you're not an Elvis Presley fan. What sort of music do you like, Jan?
I like the Police.
And
Yes.
And what about the Freshies?
Yeah.
Oh, you like the Freshies? Yes? Speak to me, Janet. Don't disappear on me.
I've not heard of them, really.
Goodness gracious. How can you say that when Chris is sat only a few yards from me? Well, look, what would you...
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right, don't worry. What about Wild West Heroes from the Electric Light Orchestra? I hear you knocking, and knocking for the final time, Chris and Brian. Brian.
Yes, indeed. Poor Chris, his first on-air rejection there. You could compile a cassette of on-air rejections. I don't really know them. Actually, in this book of rejections, there's one from Magnet Records of, where is it, London, Chris? It says, nice try, Pete Smith, A&R. And that's all it is. And apparently, well, you tell the story how it came to be just the two-word answer.
Well, what happens is, when you send tapes to record companies, most record companies, the big ones, they get so many tapes sent them, that they type up a standard letter, and they just type your name on the top and post it back with your tape, so it's very impersonal. And what I did was I typed up my own rejection slip and all I had to do was sign it and post it back to me, and I photocopied these off and sent them out to all the companies, and that was what I got back from Magnet. Just nice try.
So all they had to do was fill in your name and you'd already done the... Actually, you've got another book as well here. When does this book of press cuttings about the Freshies, is that accompany the record, or is that just for your own...
No, we did that as sort of a supplement with my tapes gone single.
Oh, I see, because there's a card to Pete Reeves asking for a Freshies record, love to Hazel Murray and Phil Sayer. And I've seen the Record Mirror staff top singles of 78. I take it that was a genuine thing, was it? I mean, number one was Amanda Lear and Follow Me, and there was Blonde Leanne Gold. And in there at number 6 was two of the same girl, Chris Sievey and the Freshies. Do you find this, that a lot of the music press and a lot of the jocks and people involved in the music industry seem to respond better to it than the actual buying public, who obviously, you know, you're trying to aim at, do?
Yeah, well, it's just a slow process. I mean, it's slowly people finding out about us, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get response, like there's countries, I'm getting letters from America. There's disc jockeys going crazy to get it in New York, all our stuff. France as well, Poland, Germany.
So you're becoming a bit of a cult figure on the choir side.
Yeah.
You see, when he's rich and famous, Dave, and we're just plodding along, you know...
Yeah, he won't want to know.
He'll not come on at night
He won't
again.
want to go on between 11 and 1. Chris, what is the time you sort of send a demo tape to a record company or a radio station, come to that? What is the time before you actually get a letter back? How long do they take?
It depends really how big the company is, how many they get in. I mean, I know EMI sometimes get about 400 a day.
400 a day?
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
And I've been there, I've seen them throwing them in the bin, you know.
Yeah.
Some you don't come back at all. Usually a month or so, and you get your rejection back.
Yeah, of course, it won't be the first time that a big record company have rejected stars. I mean, I think, who rejected the Beatles first, Brian? Can you remember?
I don't know,
Decca.
but was it Decca?
It was Decca, that's right, yes.
There's many times when...
In fact, EMI rejected them originally. It was Parlophone that took them up, which is a
I think the
subsidiary.
A&R man at Decca after that was a bus driver, I think.
Yeah, there's going to be a day, you see, when you do actually make it, Chris, and you'll be able to cock a finger up at all these people who rejected you. So you're hoping now to get this record label deal, aren't you? But you're sort of in a position where you're getting offered them gradually, and you're not sure which one to take, yeah?
Yeah, well, it's worth holding out for the right one.
So you've got a new single as well, but also you've very kindly brought in... How many singles in total are there?
Well, what I brought in is there are 6 Freshies singles.
Yeah.
A solo single of my own. There's a Rabid compilation LP which has got a Freshies track on and one of my own tracks. Some sheet music to Freshies songs. A magazine and the book of rejection slips, and they're up for a competition.
A pair of socks.
And a pair of socks.
So it's a Freshies fun pack. So if you want that, there's the publicity thing, the rejection slips, volume 1, of course. Volumes 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 will be following shortly. This could rival the best literature of its time. And the various singles. Now, I think a competition, Dave, a writing competition would probably be best, wouldn't it?
Yeah, how about, Chris, we get the listener to write in to name 3 of your singles? How about that?
Yeah, that's
Okay, well, if you can name me 3 of the Freshies singles...
Or Chris Sievey's.
Or Chris Sievey's, of course, yes. Come to think of it, how's that, Chris?
That's great.
Now, are you going to sign this LP so that come the time when you are rich and famous, they'll know that they got this signed Chris Sievey thing off?
Well, actually, all the labels on the first records are hand-done by me anyway. So.
That's what I mean, it's a right do-it-yourself, these things. Even
So
made the tea and everything.
Well,
Well,
I'll
David-
sign them all again.
There you are. Dave and I wish you the best of luck, Chris. It's been nice speaking to you, and for a local lad, well, we always want our local lads to make good, don't we?
Yeah.
So I think we'll play a new single, wish you the best, and when you are rich and famous, remember Piccadilly.
Okay.
He will, and he'll come back between 11 and 1, a superstar with
Tuesday.
with a whole team of people. All the best, Chris, and I hope everything goes well for you.
Okay,
Take
see
care.
ya.
Bye-bye. Freshies' brand new single, and that is called No Money. It's out now, so go out and buy it, and let's make the Freshies and Chris Sievey, I should say, one big star. It'd be nice. It's just 8 minutes before 12. Don't forget the bumper package and a cheque as well, enclosed in our bumper bungle, a cheque from Raz Records for no amount. So that's well worth winning. So don't forget, on a postcard to me.
1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty girl, special little girl to me. What you done to my tape deck? Chewing up, screwing there. It's not the same as it was. My tape's gone. Ripping and ramble. I'm loving every minute of this. My tape's gone. Sounds fine. Wanna rewind to the bit where I very first saw you. Zero it, then edit it, then make a continuous loop. My tape's gone. It's playing them backwards. I'm loving every minute of this. My tape's gone. Every time I try to wind fast forward, the tape, the speed, the power I need, it's getting to me, it's getting to me. minute of it. My tape's gone. Playing it backwards. I'm loving every minute of it. My tape's gone. I'm giving it to you.
Just a bit.
I've got a funny feeling that 80s could be yours, actually. That's what I've got you here. I've got a funny feeling that Chris Sievey could just take off. Peter's laughing there. He's been laughing at something he's been reading over there. Peter Roos, tell me what you're laughing at.
I'm going through these rejection slips. It's amazing, actually. I didn't realise there was as big a variety as there is. There's one here from somebody called Tosh Ryan, Limited, 20 Cotton Lane in Manchester. And there's all the letterhead after that following it. But this guy's actually written in his own handwriting, which looks like the handwriting of about a 12-year-old that's still at school. He obviously can't afford a secretary or a typewriter, therefore there's a PS at the bottom, which I won't read until I've gone through the letter. But it says, "Dear Chris, I have listened to your tapes and records with more than interest and look forward to reading your book, seeing your film, watching your play." What have you been telling him? And I am also keen on the idea of an exhibition of your paintings and etchings.
You don't paint, do you, Chris, as well, do you?
Certainly think you have a promising future, as you have obviously had a very productive past and very enthusiastic to rush release all your material. Please ring to discuss contracts and money. Please ring me today.